I start the rest part of the poem, A Lecture Upon the Shadow, that has been written by a metaphysical poet, and the name of that poet is given here, John Donne. John Donne is one of the most renowned metaphysical poets, and this one has been told by Samuel Johnson, and another prominent figure of that particular era. When he read the thought of the metaphysical poet, when he read the poetry of the John Donne, then he came to know these poems having the elements beyond physics, beyond scientific concept, and that's why he gave the literal term of that particular era of the poem, and that is known as metaphysical. I've already discussed all these things in the previous class. Now today I just go through the rest explanations of the poem. In the very first part of the explanation of this poem, we come to know how John Donne, on his anniversary, the very first anniversary, he wrote this poem, and he just gave this to as a tribute to his beloved. He says that he requested his beloved that now, just what happened, we are facing the immature phase of the love. We don't know the exact meaning, exact depth of this love. So he made a request to his beloved to stop there, to stay there, and to be the part of his lecture that is based on love and love philosophy. How he said that in the morning time, in the earlier stage of their love time, what happened? They have full of illusions, they have full of confusions, but with the time growing up gradually, their immature love, their earlier love, what happened? They turned into, they just touched the height of the depth of the love, and this one is happened only when the sun is at the height of our, at the head of our. Okay, so the poet wants to reflect how gradually and slowly and steadily their love just take a new shape, turn into a new phase, and in that phase, what happened at particular time of the noon? What happened? The sun is at height. And in that particular high time, when the sun directly just falls upon us, that times what happened? The intense feelings, the passionate feelings of the poet and his beloved reach at height. The poet says that with this, with the time of the noon, at particular time of the noon, that means in the mid phase of their love time, what happened? They just become shape a new love, a love having depth, a love having spirituality, a love having where they try to understand each other, where there is no illusions, where there is no confusion, only they just intermingle to each other. So the poet says that gradually how the love turns and takes a new shape. This one is given in the poem. He used a number of conceits. Sometimes in the very earlier stanza, he compares his love to a morning. वो अपनी love को किस चीज़ से तुलना करता है? Morning time से. Morning where there is no intense heat, where there is no sun rays, and where there is no warmth. But gradually what happened? When at the time of the noon, at the time of afternoon, when the sun just reached at the height, at the over the head of the poet, that time their love become intense, their love become mature, their love become having a special depth. So this one is, and what happened? Gradually when the love reached that height, there all the shadows, all the illusions that present there, they become start to reduce, they become start to decline. Till here, reduce, how their shadows become reduced, we have discussed in the very first part of the poem. Now, today we start right from here. So, whilst our infant lover did grow, infant love did grow, infant love did grow. What is the meaning of here infant? So, whilst, what is the meaning of the whilst? In the meantime, while they are facing the noon time, while they are facing the middle phase of their love time, that time what happened? Their infant love did grow. That means their immature love, that love that in where they don't understand each other, that love took the shape of a dynamic love. Do you know what is love? Love is dynamic. It increases time to time. It is not having constant, it is not stable. It increases. It just increases like a constant light. Light that means full of hope, full of faith, full of trust. So the poet says that at the time of the noon, so whilst that means at the time of the noon, during that time when the sun is at height, what happened? Their infant love, their immature love become mature with the passing of the time. Okay, disguises did shadows flow. Disguises, that means all those illusions, all those confusions, all those immature stages where they don't understand each other, where they are not ready to intermingle with each other, where they don't have any trust. All these things now sort out. There would be a no problem till noon, till the middle phase of their love time. Shadows flows from us. That means all those illusions became disappear. Gradually they start one by one. All those confusions became over, and our cares and the cares, the feelings, when we cares each other's disguises, each other's confusions, each other dilemma, all those things will be sort out. जितने भी confusions थे हमारे बीच, जितनी भी डिलेमा थी हमारे बीच, वो सब समय के साथ क्या होता गया, खत्म होता गया. और जैसे जैसे वो खत्म होता गया, हमारे द्वारा जो शैडोज बनाए गए थे, जो इल्यूजन्स बनाए गए थे, जो भ्रम हमारे बीच में, जो दूरियां हमारे बीच में थी, वो क्या होते गया, खत्म हो गया. इन द मॉर्निंग टाइम when we meet the very first time, that particular time जब वो मिलते हैं पहली बार, and in the time of the morning of the duration of 3 hours and two shadows were created. During that time they don't have mature love. During that particular time they didn't have such maturity. They were not ready to understand each other. वो एक दूसरे को समझने के लिए तैयार नहीं थे. बट जैसे जैसे दोपहर का समय होते गया और सूर्य जो है सर के ऊपर आते गया, उनका प्यार क्या होते गया, बढ़ते गया. और ये प्यार जो है एक गहराई को, एक आध्यात्म को प्राप्त किया, जहाँ पे किसी भी तरह का फिजिकल चार्म, फिजिकल अट्रैक्शंस का जगह नहीं. ये प्यार शारीरिक आकर्षण तक नहीं सीमित था. ये आगे बढ़ते गया, जहाँ पे एक अध्यात्म था, एक प्लेटोनिक लव थी, एक दूसरे को समझने के लिए एक दूसरे पे ट्रस्ट होना शुरू हो गया, विश्वास करना दोनों एक दूसरे के ऊपर शुरू कर दिए. सो द पोएट सेज दैट व्हेन such kinds of the depth created between them, that times what happened, all these shadows, all those disguises, all those problems was sought out. And but now to that love has not attained the highest degree. What is the saying of the poet? Now yet, in spite of that time when the sun is over our head, during that time when our love took a new shape, having a special depth, having spirituality, in spite of this, our love has not attained the highest degree. That means not completed the exact point, exact depth of the love. We need to work hard. We need some hard work. Yet we need some effort, sincere effort, to give the depth of the love, to understand our love. This one is the saying of the poet, which has not attained the highest degree, which is still diligent. What is the meaning of the diligent? Diligent, that means hard work. The poet says that in spite of getting such a depth, such a height, we need some efforts, extra efforts, we need some sincere efforts, we need some lovable efforts to reach the height of the love. Lest others see. This one is a very beautiful poem. In a very beautiful way, the poet wants to reflect how time to time the depth of their love has been changed. In the starting phase, in the time of their meeting, the very first meeting, they were totally immature, but gradually their love became mature. They started to understand each other. But in spite of this, they need to work hard over this love. Now we get the explanation of the rest of the lines. In this line, accept our loves of this noon stay. We shall new shadows make the other way. That means the poet says that at the time of the noon, when our love turned into a new shape, took into a new shape, it formed a new shape, a place, a height where there is only trust, honesty, and the depth of intense passion of love. These loves are beyond our physical needs. They just attain the spirituality, a special kind of the spirituality, एक अध्यात्म को प्राप्त होते हैं जहाँ पे हमें physical desires नहीं होते हैं. और इस तरह के love को जब हम noon के time में, in the mid phase of our life, when we attain such kinds of the love, at the same time, during this time, some new shadows started to take place. But at this time, these new shadows just turned into a new way, just started to walk into a other way. Now look here, accept our loves of this noon stay, we shall new shadows make the other way. That means we have some new shadows. During the noon time, afternoon, at the time of the post noon, what happened? When our loves already attain the height, at exact height, exact depth, exact spirituality, that time a new shadow, some new illusions, some new problems started to create, as the first were made to blind others. Where we are totally blind to each other, we started to overlook our mistakes, our confusions, our illusions and everything. During that time, what happened? These which comes behind will walk upon themselves and blind ourselves. That means again and again the poet says, in spite of getting the height, in spite getting the exact depth of the love, we need some more work to do on this love to attain the exact spirituality. That means we need to work hard over this. Now, in the next part of the poem, we come to know how the poet says that gradually what happened? They started to just forget all those confusions, all those illusions that created between them. And they said that westwardly decline when the sad after at the time of the evening, after noon, that means post noon time, when the our love just move towards the westward, that means west direction. In this poem there are two, east and west, these two directions representing what? East representing the rise of the love, and west representing what? Representing the set of the love. As the sun sets into the west direction, in west, in the same way, after noon time, when at the time of the post noon, their loves started to decline. So the poet says that we need to work hard over this, and he says that we need what kinds of the love? Love is what? Love is a growing process. It is a dynamic process. It is not limited within a time or other things. He says that the time of the love is very short, but it is quite memorable to all of us. We should develop a special kind of the dynamic love. That means right from the very first to the last line, the poet just wants to reflect the different phases, the different forms of the love, the different spiritual essence of the love, the different platonic essence of the love, and everything he wants to express to his beloved. He wants to make her understand what actually exactly she has to do during his company. When they were all together, what they had to do, what they have to do, and what they always need to do. So the poet very beautifully wants to signify, wants to highlight right from the very first word to the last word. Only he wants to say that there are different phases in the life we have to face, especially in the time of the love. We have to face a different phase. The very first we have to face the morning time, that means the immature love. In the noon time we get the depth of the love, but soon after, due to some misunderstanding, due to over engrossed to each other, what happened? We attain the again our love started to decline, And so the poet says that love is a dynamic process. It is not constant. It acts like a constant torch bearer, but it is not constant. Always, each and every time, it needs some efforts, it needs some expressions, it needs some emotions and feelings to give a new shape. So dear students, this beautiful poem is now over, and in the next video we get through the question answer of this chapter of this poem, Lecture Upon the Shadow by John Donne. I think you should understand this poem. If you have any problem to understand this poem, you need to mention in comment box. Thank you very much.